Hey everyone. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Toy Tunes, the weekly live stream here on my channel in which we all gather around the modern day campfires of our iPhone screens and computer monitors and talk about stuff that happened in the week in geek. Yeah, good. Hey Dobby, what's up? What day is it? What day is it? What day is it? Yeah, is it day? Is it poop on day? It's poop on day. Yeah, it's poop on day. On poop on? What's this? What's this? You want that? Yeah, you want that bone? Okay, good boy. Good boy. Hey friends! Welcome back. Oh God. I am live, right? Be ashamed to waste all of that really awesome Dobby goodness. I appear to be live. Yeah, the clock is ticking. Wow, lots going on today. I am neck deep in preparing for my photo exhibit at Webster University's Kuyumjun Gallery. That's a hard thing to pronounce. And yeah, I took 2 days off of work, yesterday and the day before that, to just work on getting... I mean, I didn't really realize just how much effort was going to have to go into just writing cut line info for each photo, because they're going to have a little blurb about each photo that presents itself at the gallery, and I have to present 30 to 40 of these things. So yeah, it's and I'm probably going to give them 60. I have so many. Like the last count, I had actually pulled like 100 files. I didn't realize that I had 100 images of 6-scale figures until I started this process. It's going to be really. It's been really fun. And today, I actually start shooting new stuff. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. I actually have no idea what I'm going to shoot. I've got such a list of things, of figures that I want to do. I would like to get one of all the Night Owls. You know, Axe and Bo-Katan and, oh, what's her name? Yeah. I don't know. My brain's not all together there today, I guess. Most of that, I think, is because of, right before the stream, I got a text from my ex. And it's just absurd how after 4 years apart that somebody, like a single text, can just wreck your morning. It's wild. I mean, I'm pretty much in a good place emotionally when it comes to this divorce thing, and it doesn't affect my day to day. But damn, I was really taken aback by how much it just shook me. Mostly because it just kind of, I don't know, a lot of it is because in the context of the text, I won't reveal it here, there's no need for me to share it, but it just kind of reveals things about the person you were once planning to spend the rest of your life with just being an asshole. You didn't want to think that they were, that they were capable of doing stuff like that. But in reality, I did, because I'd seen her be like this with other people, so. And I guess for so long, I was just an exception to that rule, but now that I'm no longer in my former role, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. What's going on in the Week in Geek is that I have been binging the Strain. I almost said the Strand. The Strain. It's that vampire horror film from, is anybody actually hearing me here? Live and with sound. Okay, cool. Bitter Trolls got it. Thank you, buddy. Oh yeah, Nelson Mendoza just did a little thing. Yeah, I just found out that I could do this. I didn't even know that I could do this. I found out last week that I could do this. Apparently you can do this. Yeah, baby! And it's different if you just do one, right? No, maybe not? Yeah? Is there a peace sign thing? I think there's like a peace sign thing. Yeah. Oh, God. Such good times. Such good times. Anyway. Boy, I got over that text thing really quick, didn't I? Yeah, I'm just seeing this this thing from Infographic Tony. What's up, Tony? How are things on the other side of the world? You enjoying winter? Because I'm not enjoying summer. You want to trade? I'm down. Yeah, I've got him right here, actually. In that final pose that I hit with him, still. And it does. It looks really, really good. Some of the comments that I've seen, like super producer Sam at Sideshow sent me a message that said something like, what is it? What did it say? It's actually hilarious. And I don't want to get it wrong. Just a comment on what he looks like. There we go. His expression looks like a customer walked in the door at 4:59 on a Friday. And he asks if I can confirm it or deny it. And I totally can confirm it. But if you remember Han, I mean, something happened with the character of Han Solo between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That being that he got frozen in carbonite and and immediately woke up from being frozen in carbonite. Probably thought as he was going into carbonite that he was going to his death. Only to be resurrected months later by Princess Leia, but to him it would be an instant. And he's blind and in the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. And yeah, he had a bad day. Han had a bad day. And I'm thinking that what we're seeing here is PTSD Han Solo. I mean, he was still formidable and he was still kick-ass. But that, I don't know, the thing about Harrison Ford, and the reason why so many people are dissatisfied with various likenesses of Harrison Ford and various six-scale figures and the like, is that his face is so bloody mercurial. I mean, I was watching him, was it on? It wasn't even on, no, I was watching him on a talk show this morning. And just his face up here just never stops moving. It's so expressive as he's speaking. I mean, his mouth kind of only does like 2 or 3 things, but his upper face is just so freaking expressive, and that's why it's so difficult for sculptors to capture the likeness of Harrison Ford in any form, because everybody has a particular screenshot, if you will, of Harrison Ford's face in their head. So if you don't capture that particular ideal likeness, which is so subjective, depending on the person you're talking to, then some people, those who aren't able to just let it roll off of them, just fixate on it and just get pissed. This is a great, from Marlon Braswell. I got a couple of Droidicas and finally Artisan Anakin. Good stuff. I legitimately thought you said Autism Anakin. Like, that's this area where this area down here, I can't really focus on that very well in these glasses. These glasses need updated. But wow, man. Yeah. What else was I going to talk about today? Oh, yeah, I was talking about the strain. So the strain. Vampire show from Guillermo del Toro and some other dude. And I had watched it as the episodes were airing on FX back in the day. Back in like the, I don't know, 2014, 15, 16, something like that. I fell away from it about midway through. I think I fell away from it midway through season 3, and I completely didn't watch season 4. So I binged it throughout the course of this week, and I still have to finish up the final season. But damn, I thought up until this point, up until rewatching this, I thought that Andor was breaking ground on telling a story of how fascism evolves and insinuates itself in a society. And I didn't think anything to that extent had been done before, but when I was rewatching it, I realized, oh my god, that's exactly what this show is. So if like Andor, and a lot of people saying that Andor is like the show for our time, and I truly believe that it is, but if you're looking for something else that pulls off the same thing in a very different way, I highly recommend watching The Strain. I have to say that season 1 is a bit of a struggle to get through. There's some pretty cheesy dialogue going through it, and some cringeworthy moments cinematically. But by the time season 2 gets rolling, they've really started to work on fixing that. And by season 3, it's just flowing. It's just so good. And you really start to feel for the characters. That was a big part of the problem for me back in season 1, especially Corey Stoll's kid in that show is just so damned annoying. Not the actor, The actor's the young actor that plays the kid is doing a fine job. But he's playing a kid who's basically entering puberty. Like 10, 11, 12 years old. I'm not sure. I'm terrible at judging the age of kids. But kids at that age are annoying as hell. I mean, I didn't even like kids that age when I was that age. But yeah, great show. Fantastic performances. Speaking of Andor connections, I can't remember the name of the actor, but the guy who plays the resistance leader on Gorman plays one of the head vampires. He's a former Nazi who's become a vampire, and he's really creepy as hell. One of the most creepy, terrifying characters I've seen on a television show. And yeah, just such great acting going on in that show. Yeah, the two big bad guys are just awesome. Can't wait to finish it up. I'll probably finish it up later this evening after I get done making a photograph. Want to see some of the stuff I'm working on? Let me just go ahead and share something here. Getting back to the show, that being the gallery exhibit, not this show, which this is part of it. Let me see. Window. Here we go. Boom. Make sure there's nothing incriminating up there. And by incriminating, I do mean that violates my NDA. But yeah, I'm working on this image right now. I'll just go ahead and blow it up a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better. But yeah, this is the Sideshow Mythos Boba Fett 6-scale figure. I'm just making sure that all of the levels are where I want them to be for printing. And right now, I think I'm pretty happy with right now, I think I'm pretty happy with what I've got going here. And yeah, everything that you're seeing here, except for the stars and the moon, is in camera. So I want to say that I'm using 3 lights total. There's one for the overhead that's kind of casting the moonlight, sort of moonlight, starlight, whatever, down on him. Another one from the front, a little bit more from the front, that's kind of filling in those shadows a little bit. And then the main light source is actually coming from behind. It's actually hitting that backdrop. I want to say that it's a black backdrop, but it could be gray. In fact, I think it is gray. And I'm using at least 3 different colors of gels on one tiny little light. So I had to cut strips of tinted gels. You can see there's an orange in there. There's like a mauve, like pinkish kind of a thing, leading into a purplish blue. And I did that by just kind of blending those gels together. They're kind of crossing over each other a little bit. And just kind of gradually leading into different colors that kind of resemble a sunrise. So, yeah, that's almost done, almost ready to go. This one is next up. I think that this one is actually fine the way it is. I don't know that I'll need to make any adjustments. Obviously, I did this before the Tuskens were retconned, and we got a little bit more of an idea of how Kenobi's whole vibe was on Tatooine. Like, I honestly don't think that the way that canon is structured these days, that we would see Obi-Wan Kenobi attacking a Tusken Raider from above, which is something we may have seen at some point in the past, but like before, say the Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian, when you saw that that settlers actually had more of an ambivalent relationship with the Tuskens. Ambiguous relationship with the Tuskens. Yeah, the Tuskens could raid and cause great damage, but then they also were able to communicate, kind of similarly to the way that that natives that indigenous people were interacting with the white settlers back in the day. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. And finally, let's see this one. Yeah, very similar, but yeah, and this moon, by the way, that's actually our moon. That's Luna. Copied and pasted. I took a photograph of our moon for this image and just used it for the 3 moons of Tatooine. Similar light setup to what we saw with the Boba Fett photo, except the light behind Kenobi is turned around and is shooting through the smoke with a blue gel over it, so that you're actually getting that smoke illuminated with a nice soft blue color. This is legitimately one of my favorite photos that I've ever done of a 6-scale figure, so I'm really genuinely excited because the size of these. I'm gonna see if I can. Do I have my mail app open? I do, and I'm just gonna see really quick. There we go. I think that let's see. I want to let you guys know what size these images are going to be. They're going to be 20 inches by 30 inches. Some of them are going to be 13 by 19 because there are certain details that I don't want revealed, like stuff that you can't see when the images are small or when they're in low resolution. But yeah, So that's where I'm at now. I've already submitted 25 images. This will make 28. I think the directive was between 30 and 40. Again, I'm going to give them 60. So I've got my work cut out for me today and tomorrow. Deadline is the 1st. I may take Monday off too. Heads up, work, if you're watching, and why wouldn't you be? Then, yeah. This music is funky. Somebody was asking earlier, let's see if I can find it. Somebody was asking if I use, oh yeah, Nelson Mendoza was asking if I use Spotify for my background music. No, I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound, which has a great catalog of music for my personal YouTube channel. I don't use Epidemic Sound for Sideshow work because Sideshow continues to resist my urging to subscribe to Epidemic Sound. Sideshow is spending so much money. I don't think anybody, not just Sideshow, anybody who's subscribing to, or not subscribing to, but purchasing music from one of those other subscription services, say in this case it would be, I'm trying to remember the name of the company they use. Oh, Audio Jungle. Anybody who like pays for every song, every time that they use a song has to pay for the song. No, you're really losing out. For like $50 a month, I think is what I pay for this. I have unlimited access to their entire library. I can do things like what I'm doing right now. I'm legitimately on their site, hitting play, and I'm not getting paid for saying this. This is like, I'm legitimately on their site, just like I've typed in a search for pirate, and this is just all the music that popped up. And I really dig it. I mean, seriously, sometimes you can pay $50 for just a single track on Audio Jungle, but for $50 a month, I get all of this. Unlimited use. Every so often they screw up and they block my monetization for one of my videos because I don't know, the wires get crossed somewhere. Anyway, but moving right along, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these comments so that I can get to the bottom and get started on this figure because I'm really, really excited about it. It's been the window of time between when I did the unboxing for Sideshow and now has grown so great that now I can genuinely look forward to doing it again. It'll be like experiencing it for the first time all over again. Anyway, let me clear this off. Yay, I'm back. In honor of this unboxing, let's all do some rum shots. Indeed, indeed. And had I rum on hand, I may very well have done that. Is rum good in coffee? I know bourbon is. I can't imagine putting scotch in coffee. It's a great way to ruin coffee and scotch. If only, if only. So, Bitter Troll is Steve here. Hello. Bitter Troll is starting to sound like he may actually show up for my gallery exhibit, for the reception for the gallery, for the exhibit. They call it the opening reception, but actually at the time that the reception takes place, those photos will already have been up in the gallery for at least a week, maybe two. I'm not sure. This is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. That song enters my head every time I see anything related to Jack Sparrow. So I totally get it. By the way, did you guys know that it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? It is. It is. Been doing a little bit of a dive into that, and did you know that every 60 seconds a man commits suicide? Every 60 seconds. This live stream has been going for almost 20 minutes, and in that time 20 men have committed suicide, which is remarkable because, and I've heard this on a video that I was watching earlier this morning, but I hadn't taken this into account. That's just taking into account the dudes who didn't change their minds, who didn't just think about the people that they would leave behind, who didn't think about their families and their friends and how they would miss them, or who didn't just have the thought like, okay, this will get better. And it will. It always does. I mean, I've been there. I've been down a dark path. I've considered ending my own life. I have. It's not a good place to be. And at the time that you're thinking about it, you can't envision a better future. You think that this is how it's always going to be, and you'd want the pain to stop. So you start thinking about ways to make the pain stop permanently. And if you're out there and if you're hurting, you know, I've actually had subscribers who reached out to me when they were in crisis. It wouldn't be the first time if somebody needed to reach out and share. because it's kind of crucial. If you don't feel like you have that kind of a person in your life, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's actually a great Josh Johnson video that just dropped, because, you know, that guy actually is so prolific. He drops a new special, like hour-long special, 45 minutes to an hour-long special every week. And the most recent one dealt with that. Men who don't have friends. Like, guys just don't have friends these days. It's this mental health crisis with dudes is a very real thing. Mental health crises in general are very real, I get it, but you know, dudes are in a weird place right now. Sure is a scary time for dudes. I treasure that woman. Morning, everyone, says Universal Key. What's up, dude? Steve Nara. Yeah. I feel like Michael Bolton could have been a pirate in another life. Did somebody post the... I actually didn't drop the link in the group today. Oops, sorry, guys. Marlon Braswell is here, as we saw earlier. So is Liza Sella. What's up? Hope you got that image out of your head. That's not an image I would wish on anybody. Sorry to put that there for you. Good morning, friends. Let's go! I'm happy to give you something to entertain yourself. Although, seriously, I can think of few things that I would rather be watching on a treadmill or listening to on a treadmill than me. Except sometimes my voice does get kind of awesome. Even I'll admit that. Good morning, says Bad Wolf Media. What's up, Mike? How's it going, my friend? Nelson Mendoza, as we saw earlier, is here. Everybody's saying hi to Dobby. Well, somebody is. Oh. I see Terry Sillis' Wizard. His junk is still in danger, and it will be for the foreseeable future. I almost made an appointment yesterday. I almost scheduled an appointment yesterday to have it turned off. Yeah, man, I'm kind of digging this. A break from the norm. It was getting to the point for me that the music that I play every week is just starting to become part of the landscape. So I'm kind of excited about the opportunity to listen to something new. I'm assuming that as we go further down the list of music that I brought up in Epidemic Sound, that it will become less and less piratical. And if that happens, then I'll switch or I'll start the whole playlist over. Because it's already going more Latin music. I don't know. Buenos días, Luis. ¿Cómo está? That's the extent of my Spanish. I'm up to the challenge, man. You bring it. You bring it. You find me a Hot Toys dog, and I will totally. Oh yeah. Yeah, giveaway was a couple weeks ago at Sideshow, and I really thought that I was going to get... My goal is to get one of the Deadpool figures that has Dogpool in it. I just want Dogpool. All I want is Dogpool, but I don't want to spend $200 to get Dogpool. I don't care enough about Deadpool for that, but... Ah, sorry, dude. Yeah. You're right. I flubbed that one. Caption. I said cut line, I should have said caption. Yeah. Oh. I'm going through this coffee way quicker than I thought I would. Wow, man, I'm way behind. Christina Payne is here. What's up, Christina? Windman is here. What's up? Man, yeah. Just wrecked me this morning. I'm really looking forward to that day when she doesn't have that power over me. It's, yeah, and after 4 years. But, you know, when you're with somebody for 20 years, I've heard it said that it takes half the duration of a relationship to fully get over that relationship. So, almost halfway over the hump. Almost over the hump. Let this be a day of mixed metaphors. Bring it. Yeah, I swear that there was like, is there something different for two-piece signs? I think there's something, yeah, confetti for two-piece signs. Yeah, but just balloons for one. That's so good. Just gonna sit here and play with this all day. I love being goofy. All right. Batman is one and the rest Star Wars figures. Yeah, it's fun to break free from your usual collecting mandate, if you have such a thing. Some people just get anything and everything that they feel like getting. But I've been forced by circumstances, as we know, to limit myself to not just Star Wars 6 scale, but a very specific path for Star Wars 6 scale figures. This music is great. This is kind of like the vibe of this track is kind of like a mix between Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion. Oh yeah, that is really good. Yeah, that is really good. I didn't get to look at that one in person, which is fine. Guy Klender needed to be the one to do that video. I'd like to get Guy on this show at some point. I think that he's not really set up for live streaming. Yeah, basically he just has whatever is on his iMac. He'd have to rely on that microphone and that monitor, that camera, and he doesn't really enjoy it. And I also think that his internet isn't that fast. So yeah, I knew this about that, but I didn't know until halfway through the first season, watching the first season over again, that it was a book series. Chuck Hogan is the other guy. Thank you. Hogan also wrote the book Prince of Thieves that Ben Affleck turned into the film The Town. No kidding. Wow. That's a nice little bit of trivia. Thanks for that. Got him a rock. Yeah, they just let me know that it'd come in, and I haven't replied to release it. So, and it's a good thing I didn't, because I did find out that that Captain Rex is also in and ready to ship out. So yeah, I think I'm going to get Maroc and Captain Rex next week. Trying to remember what else is available. I think that there's more that is just waiting on me to say to greenlight. Let me see here. Collectibles. Oh yeah, Maul 2.0, Artisan Anakin, which I think I'm going to cancel. That's not in my wheelhouse. And I really only wanted it for a photo, but I've got the figure here from Sideshow, so I'm going to just use that figure for the photo. Ahsoka the White is ready to ship. And that's it. So yeah, I might be getting 4 new figures next week. We'll see. You'll be the second to know right after me. All of you collectively will be the second to know. Do I ever use my TV for backgrounds? Asked Infographic Tony. It's funny you should mention that, because I was just considering doing it today. I don't relish the idea of having to either move my studio stuff out here or move my TV in there. I don't know. I would have to get a stand in order to do it in the studio. But we'll see. I'm always impressed by the people who use televisions for backgrounds, because there's the very real possibility that you're going to catch a reflection for one of your lights in that television, and just the possibility of running into that difficulty frustrates me to the point that I just don't want to do it. Hashtag ADHD. Commander Green's here. What's up, dude? Speaking of great figure photographers, how's it going, bro? Ryoko? I don't know. I don't know that all boils down to Howard Chan. And I don't know that I feel like it would be amazingly hot here, and it would be amazingly hot in Australia and New Zealand, but I don't know how it would perform in Asia. Anybody have any idea what's the take on Mad Max in, say, China? How do those films perform there? Who are you using for printing, or is it being done by the school? It's actually being done by the school. That's a very exciting thing, because if it were up to me, the show would probably never happen. Yeah, I don't do a lot of, I don't print a lot of my work. In fact, I don't think I've printed any of my work since, it's probably been 20 years since I've printed any of my work. More than 20 years. I was probably still in school, and I probably printed it myself using chemical processes. But yeah, it's being done by the school, and at the end of it, I get to keep the images. And I have to give a 5 to 10 minute talk, and I think they're gonna pay me for that. They have to pay me for that. So I'm getting a fat check at the end of the day. This show is just so great. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. And I think that it's possible that when I walk into that gallery and see it for the first time, I'm probably just going to break down. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see. And if anybody happens to be in town and at the gallery, you may very well see me cry. That would be the kind of thing that would do it, Rune. That would be the kind of thing that would do it. My own mother's death didn't affect me that strongly, but that would be the kind of thing that would do it. My separation from my ex really threw me for a loop, and there have been other things that have really thrown me. The loss of in 2016 when Sideshow let me go, that really hit me hard. COVID hit me hard. The move actually from California to Charlotte hit me hard. If it wasn't for my friendship with Ryan and Kent, and who then got me into YouTube, Ryan being oh God, I can't remember. Jetta Patrol. Ryan at Jetta Patrol and Kent at Kent Pool Collecting. Then I don't know where I would have been. They really, the activities that I went through with them, and Harold Green, also Commander Green was also part of that circle, really helped to keep my head above water. And doing the YouTube stuff and the little bit of freelance work that I got in Six Skill, because the working grocery is not something that I relish, especially during a pandemic. But yeah, man, hopefully, yeah, I'm glad you got out of that dark path, Rune. Yeah, man, it's what little I can do. I mean, I've got a small platform, but whatever. Just got my Jack Sparrow D38, DX30. Oh, the non-rooted hair version. Is that the same figure, only non-rooted hair? I was wondering because I was looking at the Sideshow photos of the figure, and it looked like every single version had rooted hair. But maybe it's some of the dreads. Maybe some of the dreadlocks. Dreads, for those who don't know, dreads is a fairly unique and kind of underground term. It's a combination of braids and dreads. So, yeah, I just made that up. Yeah, see? Yeah, I totally get it. Oh, thank God. Okay, good. Whew. Hey, yeah. Hey, Michael Flowers here. What's up, Michael? Michael Lecting? Michael Lecter. What a that's great word use, man. I still love that. Finally be able to be here again. Faithful as always, Uncle Terry. Thank you, man. Okay, I'm just going to give you that. Go ahead. Oh, wait. There we go. All right. And what happens when you just do it? Oh. Then you still get a heart. Okay. That's great. Some people may have some sort of a physical handicap which prevents them from... It's like people who try to do the Spock thing, which does nothing. The Vulcan salute or whatever. Some people can't do that. It's weird. I would love to examine the genetics of that. Like, how does that show up on your genetic profile? Oh, God. For those who don't know, that wasn't a sip just now. That was a gulp. Sorry, Keith. I do not, in fact, have Wolverine from Deadpool. Oh. Yeah, I think I didn't realize until just now that that Bad Wolf Media shares the same initials as one of my favorite brands of car. I think the challenge for getting your California cohorts on here is that you'd be asking them to be awake at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. That is exactly what it is. I'm in talks with JP Mavinga to pop back on here, or talks. I just say I've mentioned it to him. That's about where we're at. But yeah, I think that, I don't know. Sounds like JP's getting sick of California. We've been talking about that a lot, so maybe he'll be in a better time zone sometime in the future. Oh, that's a... Yeah, collectors won't care. Collectors won't care. And I don't think that they should. I'm a huge proponent of separating the art from the actions of the artist. It doesn't matter how, like, I don't know. What's her name? Riefenstahl. Worked for the Nazis. But there's no denying that she was a freaking stellar filmmaker. Yeah, it's so. Yes, I mean, I don't know. To some extent, I agree that that people need to be held accountable for things that they say, things that they do. But the fact of the matter is, like, when it comes to things like 6-scale figures or film, it's not just the artist that's being punished if that film is canceled, for instance. It's all the people who worked on it. So many people are just going to, yeah. It's difficult. You're like legitimately swatting a fly with a nuke. The collateral damage of targeting an individual artist in that kind of scenario, to me, makes it, yeah, find another way. Find another way. I mean, ostracizing them in the future is one thing. But trying to cancel something that already exists, to wipe it from existence, I just think that's detrimental to society in general. I want a signed print of the one of Iron Man and Ironmonger. That could be arranged. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these images when they give them to me. I very well might put them up for sale. Or give them as gifts. Or give them away here. For those who are interested. The majority of prints I made are for friends and family after concerts. Yeah, Bad Wolf Media gifted me a framed prints of there's one of Zakk Wylde from Ozzy Osbourne, and specifically from oh god, Black Label Society, and another one of Ian oh god, Scott Ian from Anthrax, and they're great. They're actually on display in my studio, dude. I don't know if you know this or not, but they're actually on display in my studio. So I see those things every day. Then it's special because that was one of the first shows that, if not the first show, that Bad Wolf Media gifted me a ticket to. One of the first shows that we saw together. I know Mad Max was embraced by the Japaneses because of the Lone Samurai comparisons. But not sure about China though. Yeah, it would be. I would be curious to know. You were very welcome, Rune. You got a friend in me. Yeah, I know. I thank you, man. I appreciate that. Also, what day do you get into the gallery? I'm not saying I want to see you, guy, but what day do you get into the gallery? Not saying I want to see you, guy, but capturing that reveal moment. I don't know. I don't know if I would imagine that I'll probably go to the gallery before, like, days before the exhibit. I'll probably see the exhibit before the day of. I'm not sure what the process is for that. But I will let you know. I will let you know, just in case you're curious and wanted to be there for it. Okay, thanks for clarifying. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I'm going to be honest and frank here. For the most part, I've decided to avoid getting figures with rooted hair. Part of the reason why I'm canceling the that Anakin figure. I just don't. I don't trust it in the long term. And I've never really been good about styling it. Now, Hot Toys has been really good about having the hair styled out of the box. It's ready to go. So that's not an issue. But again, I don't trust it. For those who really appreciate it, I'm thrilled for them. But I know me well enough to know that I don't think that I would be able to take good care of it. And I think that's the key. You have to have a devotion to something like that in order to maintain it over time. Anyone else enjoying Ironheart? I am enjoying. Thank you for bringing that up. I am actually enjoying Ironheart. And I went into it thinking that I would not. I went into it prepared to just be like, okay, this is probably going to be the first Marvel show that I don't feel compelled to watch all the way through. And I was delighted that I was wrong, that I misjudged. My reasons for that had nothing to do with, say, the trailers. They weren't rooted in anything other than the fact that they made the decision to air 3 episodes one week and 3 episodes the next week. And I don't know what goes into the decision in that process, but Disney Plus is notorious, as we know, for being stringent about posting. You might get like 2 episodes, the first 2 episodes in the first week, and then a single episode afterwards. But they're very diligent about maintaining that 1 episode per week format. And the fact that they broke that for this, with very few exceptions, like the animated series that they come out with, they'll drop those in the same week. Yeah, okay. But yeah, but getting back to it, I was genuinely thrilled about Ironheart. I'm on board with the notion that the story is one of disaffected youth who are not born to privilege, brilliant youth, geniuses. It seems like every single one of these characters, up to a certain extent, to some level or another, is in fact a genius within their own field. And whether it's Riri obviously being a tech genius, or everybody has their gifts, and they've formed like basically their own super team. Yeah, obviously they're super thieves, but and like, oh, what's his name? The Hood's big thing is his leadership qualities, his charisma. You know, he's very charming, and it's really, to me, it's really good, and I welcome it. I just love. I know that people are going to be like, oh, so woke. Come on, can we just stop disparaging the term woke? Can we stop? I mean, it's a first of all, it's a bastardization of what the term actually means. It's basically replaced PC, political correctness, in the lexicon, and I'm like, that is such a gross misuse of the term. So let's get rid of that, and let's just say, if you are going to continue to use it for everything, anything, and everything under the sun, then let's just stop calling it a bad thing, because anytime that somebody's accused a TV show or a film or anything of being woke, I'm just baffled by the fact that you're not smiling when you say that. You know, it's stupid. Anytime that I hear somebody disparage something by calling it woke, it says more about the person saying it than it does to me. It says more about the person saying it than it does about the people, about the film itself or the show itself or whatever. I don't know that they're aware of that. The only people that resonates with are people who have the same perspective or the same, I'm trying to be kind here, issues. It's, yeah, I can't get on board with it. And yeah, I hate being the guy that judges, but yeah, I'm probably judging you if you use woke in a disparaging way, knowing full well what woke actually means. Even if you're bastardizing the term of it, even using woke as an umbrella to describe all the things, it's still, it doesn't resonate with me as a bad thing. We need more wokeness, not less. And in my opinion, anytime somebody tries to tell a story through a lens that could be interpreted as quote unquote woke, it contributes more to society, to the nation, to the world than it does, and then it takes away. It's not a bad idea to have other perspectives being presented in cinema, in pop culture. I'm down for it. I mean, I grew up in a small town, and racism was very real where I'm from, and most of it was because nobody had any experience with other cultures. Everybody was just isolated. This is like obviously the days before the internet, when you only had 3 network channels on TV. We had a small local theater that showed 2 movies at a time. So we didn't get like a broad selection of cinema. Nobody was watching French films in my hometown. And it wasn't until I got out in the world and actually met people from other cultures, other nations, traveled to other countries, that my perspective actually changed. And it's weird when that happens, because you don't realize that you're changing until you go back home and have conversations with the people who didn't leave. And it's yeah, it's hard. I don't want to say it's hard. It's just like, it's illuminating though. And I feel like every time that I'm talking to somebody or listening to somebody who's complaining about wokeness, it's like, you don't get out much, do you? Enough about that. Soapbox done. I agree that punishing the full movie is absolutely problematic. That makes the actions of that individual even more heinous. Yeah. Yeah. That's hard. And think about, like, for instance, what's his name that played Kang? That cancellation shifted the course of the entire Marvel universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that cancellation feasibly took away stuff from us. Whenever someone says they want to be frank, I can hear just right. I'm glad you're enjoying Ironheart. When Manasato's released a vid. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, right? That's all I'll say about that. Bringing the mystical side to the mostly street level stories is a lot of fun. Yes. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, the Hood is one of my favorite Marvel villains. I want to say that he was introduced by, or at least I first became aware of him in stories by Brian Michael Bendis. And man, he was a breath of fresh air. Yeah. I can't wait to see how they evolve that. I can't wait to see what's coming. Wednesdays, just a few days away. So overly dramatic, James. So overly dramatic. In fact, the whole when I see any like a website that's doing a review of Ironheart that's positive, or when I see one of the Marvel pages posting something about Ironheart scoring 70-something% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the first thing I do is look down at the reactions for the laughing emoji, and the laughing emoji. Another thing that I judge people for is their use of the laughing emoji in a sarcastic fashion. The laughing emoji should... Why am I calling it emoji? The laughing emoji should only be used as an expression of joy, of delight, of hilarity. Again, I do judge people who react, and I think they've made their bet on that note. But yeah, I judge people for using that laughing emoji to disparage Ironheart, specifically in this context. Yeah, kind of looking that way, right? Yeah. Oh, I'd forgotten about the mystical stuff in the Defenders show. Yeah, that's probably a good policy. I actually go through phases where when I see that laughing emoji show up, if I'm bored, I'll just go into the emojis and just go down all the people who use that, and I'll just block them. It just makes me feel good for a minute. Woke users are trying to turn a positive term into a negative term, and sadly for a big part of the population, this has worked. Yeah, man, it's really, yeah. Live in rural Tennessee, yeah, I get it. Yep, of course you do. Yeah, I feel like we came from similar backgrounds. Yeah, I read the book. I was there when she was introduced, and I was like, this is great. It's different, it's fresh. When you're talking Brian Michael Bendis, you know that the dialogue is going to be on point. I can't think of anybody to this day who does dialogue in comic books better than Brian Michael Bendis. What is he even doing these days? I don't even know. Since I stopped reading comics, I've fallen out of touch. But man, so good. Yeah, it's... Oh, if it shows up in one of my posts, gone. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I don't want to be friends with you. And it's like, if you're gonna... I mean, that's my take on it. It's like similar to the whole cancel culture thing. You know, if you... Society has always kicked people to the curb that were undesirable. And I kind of, in my mind, in my little society that I have here, I don't want to hang out with people with that kind of attitude. That attitude needs adjusted. And yeah. Anyway, are we about ready for posing? Just that I'm not a big fan of using it to disparage something sarcastically. It should be an expression of joy and limited to that. Like, honestly, if I was in a room full of people and this subject came up, say talking about Ironheart, and I started talking about how much I was enjoying it, and how I just loved the fact that it's these marginalized characters who are doing what they can in order to get by or in order to thrive. And somebody in that room just started laughing mockingly at what I was saying. I mean, if it was my party and this was happening, you'd be out the door. I've done it. I've legitimately I remember distinctly being I had a bonfire at my mom's house, and somebody just started acting. Somebody was at the party and started acting in that manner. Now, obviously, there was alcohol involved. That might have had something to do with it. But I legitimately told the guy, I think it's time for you to leave. And there was drama. And he was cursing me all the way to his car and peeled out in my mom's gravel driveway. But, you know, F that. I can't abide rudeness. And that's really what it boils down to. You gonna be rude? All right, go. There's a better way to be. There's a better way to do it. Laughing emoji usually really? Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, yeah. And I just don't have time for that. Again, just be polite. It's simple, man. It's really simple. Maybe that's what the internet has done to people. It's just destroyed politeness. The internet is dominated by rudeness. And the algorithms actually feed that. So... Okay, I've had enough coffee that my knee is starting to shake. Restless leg syndrome is real. Let's show you this guy one more time before I move on to Captain Jack Sparrow. Again, not the best lighting, but even without it being the best lighting, that portrait looks so good. And I'll tell you this, if you get this figure, one of the first things you're going to want to do is just wad up that coat, because it's super stiff. You can even see back here, I haven't fully, yeah, it needs some love, it needs some work. But yeah, wad it up, man. Crumple the hell out of it. It's wired in the hem, so that helps. But the fabric is super stiff, and I love the camo pattern on it. They nailed it. And I also have the super deluxe version of Return of the Jedi Luke, which I'm sure they're going to do over again. I feel like that's part and parcel of why that's part of why they did the Dark Empire Luke Skywalker 6 scale figure, which I also have here somewhere. Yeah, I boxed him up, so I can't show him to you. But I feel like that's a prelude to a new version of Luke Skywalker. I'm just guessing here. I have no insight. I've made this disclaimer countless times. I have no inside information about what Hot Toys is planning to do, and if I did, I wouldn't share it. So all I can do is speculate, but if I was going to speculate about what Hot Toys is doing, I would say Dark Empire Luke is a prelude to a deluxe artisan version of Return of the Jedi Luke. And I will also say this. I had told myself I wasn't going to get any more Return of the Jedi figures until I saw this and got him with that Luke Skywalker, because Luke also has indoor base elements that comes with him. And when you get all that together with the green and the costumes, I can just imagine what the Leia with Wicket would be like. Get all three of those on a DTOF shelf. Ah, it would be so good. I'm going to put this someplace safe because I don't want to knock him over. Okay. And get myself, assuming the position. Mike Gomez is here. What's up, dude? Is that right? This box is huge. Okay. Look at it. Okay, let's raise this up a little bit. Voila. I mean, seriously, just look at it. Got this great little map motif going on. I'll just spin it around to the front here. The awesome, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a good skull and crossbones? Dobby's collar has skulls and crossbones all over it. So he's a pirate. See all that awesome reflective stuff going on down here? It's just pure gold, man. I mean, seriously, pirate gold. Bookcase design. Slipcover? No, bookcase design. Yeah, that's right. DX39AE. It's like the more letters and numbers, the more important it is. The better the quality. It's a sign of quality. Social media made you all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. I will never get tired of hearing that quote. Yeah, I almost did that one today. I have it here, and I almost did that one, but decided I really want to do a photograph of Jack Sparrow for this. I don't have any Jack Sparrow photographs in my repertoire. So legitimately what we're seeing here is me styling up the figure for a photograph that is going to appear in my gallery show in September. So yeah, you're getting a first-hand look at it. In fact, I'm thinking about documenting the shoot and doing a video for Sideshow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That would be very hard to do. Hey, Keith, what are you doing today? I hope it comes with a bottle of fun. Is that like a combination of fun and rum? It's the fun rum. It's like a fun run, only with more rum. People like Jolly Roger Matisse. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Oh no. Everything I do is always in studio. I've yet to bust that, break through that barrier of shooting things. One time, I took a sand trooper. Not a sand trooper. I took a shore trooper and a death trooper to the beach at in Ventura, and I shot an image of that. I think I've shown it on here before. I'm not going to show it now because that would take time. Oh, is that right? Softer natural lighting looks like it works best for him. Does that make sense? It makes perfect sense. Yeah, it's yeah. And I got to be honest. I was afraid that I was going to have to work really hard to get that to really capture the quality of that portrait. But I did not. I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it at all. Don't tell work. Yeah, I really saved that portrait, boss. No, not true. Also, if you would have told me that yesterday, I would have put it in my calendar. Ah, yeah, well. There's hardly room in my studio for me. Although since I'm breaking down the Sideshow first look set, that will do a lot for that. That will free up a lot of space. So I think 2 people could probably fit in there in a couple of hours. Oh, dude, I think it's lovely. Yeah, for those who don't know, Rune has a light up Wonder Woman lasso. He sent me a couple of images. I wonder if I can show them. I'm sure that I can. Let me just find my my other browser. Go to Facebook. I've got 2 screens going here and doing a search for Rune. There he is. Hope you don't mind that I'm going to do this, but if you do, sound off right now. Yeah, okay. Cool. Let me just go ahead and bring that up. Ventura, yes, thank you. All right, so let's, I'm going to close this out. Cool, thank you, Rune. Thank you for the share screen. Window. There we go. So yeah, check this out. Isn't that cool? Yeah, very jealous. Probably breaking some rules there by showing that, but I think it's pretty minor. It's not like I'm showing black market figures or anything like that, or gray market figures. But yeah, man, I think that's really super cool. Yeah, big fan of that. Good idea. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Let's move on with this unboxing. I'm going to come over to... I'm just going to restart this. Boom. Yeah, let's set the mood. All right. Here we go. Here comes the reveal. Are we ready? Oh, it's so tight. Wow. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Too bad I can't do it this way, but I'm not able to show you the... All right. Being very gentle with this box. That's me being gentle. Okay, so you slide that off and you've got this great shot. Oh, God. See, this might inform the way that I pose this figure up. I need to look at stuff like this. Because even though I've already said that I'm planning on doing a photo shoot of this later today, then... I still don't know what I'm going to do with it because there's so many options. There's so many things you can do with it. This figure could be so many. You could legitimately buy like 3 or 4 of these things and have completely different looks. With the hat, without the hat, with the smirking portrait, with the serious portrait. And then that's without even factoring in the... oh, what am I saying here? That's without even factoring in all the accessories or the base. Oh, you'll see. Yeah, check that out. And it does look that good. In fact, I think it looks better. My memory of it is that it looks better than... So here we have the glorious DX packaging with the Artisan Edition having its own little vault. I love how they kind of cropped this this die cut area here, and so that you couldn't really see much of the neck. Looks more like you just... I don't know, like it's hiding his face. Because I guess they do, Just don't pose her like that. I don't know what that means. Yeah. But I sense that you're probably going to send me a text right now. Okay. All right. So, this little guy here comes out, telling you to please read the user guide first and follow all construction details during the assembling process. Duly noted. I love that it's like totally set to, it's like advertisement. There's like marketing stuff going on. It features wool hair implantation, genuine leather belts and boots. That's right, because they got with, Hot Toys got with some dude, I don't know, I can't remember his name, who was like a legitimate, who has immersed himself in the Jack Sparrow costume to a ridiculous degree. So this version of Jack Sparrow is so highly elevated beyond what the previous versions of Jack Sparrow were. It's the most authentic recreation that you can get at this scale at this time. And yes, for the first time, I don't know. I don't know how often. I know that they used like real leather in the recent Indiana Jones figure, but they don't frequently use real leather for good reason, for multiple reasons. But they did with this. And that's what helped win me over. Because like most people, I do worry about pleather. I take steps here at home to make sure that all my figures are kept in a climate-controlled environment. And that should help. Oh my God. There's so much going on here. Let's pull this out, first of all. Glare galore, glare galore. We got the hat, we got a swap out portrait, we've got the head in a vault, and all sorts of swap out hands because we all know that Jack Sparrow loves to do those expressive gestures with his hands. Johnny Depp is a freaking god for what he brought to the table with that. Instructions and batteries for me to completely ignore. Just kidding. I may need these later. All right. Pull this guy out. See, the figure comes wrapped in a little plastic wrap around. It's meant to keep the belt and everything just... I don't know what it's meant for. I give up. Anybody else know? So pull out these little pieces of styrofoam here. I feel perfectly fine throwing those over my shoulder. This is what I want, StreamYard. See if you can make this happen, StreamYard. Every time I throw something over my shoulder, I want that to automatically cue the sound of a falling bomb and an explosion. Subsequent explosion. If you can make that happen for me, that would be great. Thank you. Okay. You're free. See? Wouldn't that have been fun? Okay. This is going to take longer than I want it to. Another one of those situations where I should have opened the thing and taken all the plastic off. Fortunately, that came off very easily. Okay, we got some plastic around the hands. Is it too tight to remove? Yes, it is. So we're gonna have to cut. Oh yeah, man, definitely have to cut. Oh, this knife definitely needs sharpened. One plastic gone. Okay, I have to do the other one too. Ugh. Fun fact, I now only do coffee during this show. Once a week, I have a cup of coffee. So, come on. Okay, so here we go. Such a fine. I don't know that the lighting here is going to really do it justice, but look at the 1080p nature of this broadcast. But if you could just see the stitch, not just the stitching, but the individual threads on the costume are just beautiful. Now there are wires in the bottom of the coat, which I welcome because that's going to enable for some really dramatic effects. But let's just go ahead and pull this aside so that you can see everything that's going on. Let me see here. There we go. You can see everything that's going on with the sash, the sword belt, the regular belt, the belts, multiple buckles, and that pattern in his tunic. Look at that. And then, of course, these boots being genuine leather, right? No, that is a fabric. The boots are fabric, the belts are leather. That's it. So yeah, and look at the pattern in the get that up close. Look at the pattern in that belt. Isn't that fantastic? How did they do that? Embroidery is the word, in fact, that I was looking for. Bad Wolf, thank you. And I didn't realize that the hand gestures were an Apple thing. Go Apple. Let's get rid of this plastic thing on his neck. That's no fun. Moving the coffee away. Give me some workspace on the table because I've got to get this all out. Oh, here we go. Here's where the fun begins. Han Solo reference. Oh. Ship's wheel. Specifically, the ship's wheel of the Black Pearl. The Pearl. I don't think I could ever do a Johnny Depp slash what's his name? Jack Sparrow impression. Alright, so I'm just gonna show those off individually. Let's get the ship's wheel out of the way, because that's a big piece of plastic that I just don't need to have sitting on that desk. Yeah, I'll check that out. Here. Set you up here. There are frustrating aspects to this base. We'll get to that. But before we do, look at that detail. Look at that just nasty, nasty aging and weathering, and it just looks gross. And that rope, actual rope, see, dangling like a, well, you know, And actually rotates, so you can turn your ship's wheel. It can just keep going and going and going, but I'm not going to prove that. So let's set you aside. I'm getting so excited about this. And break out the other part of the base. That being the deck. And I don't know what's going on with the Black Pearl, but it's like, I don't know. You almost expect to find Rose, Tyler, like floating and, you know, I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go, Jack. There should be a captain in there somewhere. But look at the nasty algae growing there on the deck. The rotting planks. Just so filthy. Oh, really good quality stuff. And yes, a lot of times the bases can, the quality that's, the amount of effort that's thrown into a base kind of waxes and wanes. Sometimes you get really, like they phoned in the base, so to speak. Not here. Not here. Everything is just richly detailed. Use the force, Terry. What's going on here? Okay. At the top of the base, at the top of this particular, you got the stand. As well as a very big groin grabber support. There we go. And tools for styling up the hair and adjusting the eyes, including tweezers and an eye tool. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. There's also a screwdriver. Just going to take all that out of there so I don't have to look for it later. Now let's get into the fun stuff. The downside of this is that it takes a long time to prep. And I'm going to have... it's... Part of me wants to forego some of the prep in favor of just taking the time to pose. But the fact of the matter is that I've got to prep this figure for a photo anyway. So while I'm here, might as well just do it all. And, you know, you guys don't have to stay and watch. Or you can skip past this part if you're watching it in a rerun. All right, there we go. Look at that. Cutlass. Yeah. Jack's effects. By the way, talking about my ex earlier, a major point of contention with me and my ex for years has always been, since the dawn of the original Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, has been Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, look at that. Awesome dagger. Awesome, awesome dagger. My hands are shaking. In fact, the first time that I saw Curse of the Black Pearl here in St. Louis, it was with my ex and my friend Nincho Piryankov. And on the way out to the parking lot after the show, Nincho and I were just gushing. We were just giddy about how much fun that movie was. Oh my God, I can't believe how good that was. I can't wait to go back and see it again. And Lindsay remained silent for almost a full minute before just bursting out with this tirade like, I've never seen such a rotten piece of shit in my entire life. And just went on a tirade, and I just legitimately thought we were breaking up. I thought it was so bad, I thought that she was like breaking up with me. She was so vociferously opposed to everything about Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, my mom loved the Pirates of the Caribbean films, specifically Johnny Depp. And when Dead Man's Chest came out, Lindsay and I took my mom to see Dead Man's Chest. And Lindsay walked into the theater with us, sat down with us, watched the trailers with us, and as soon as the movie started rolling, she left the theater and went to watch a different movie in another theater. Talk about your protests. Look at these pistols. Very cool. Just see what I got here. I honestly don't know which one is Jack's pistol with the one shot, or if it is, because he did fire that one shot in Curse of the Black Pearl. So I've never really taken the time to figure out if he kept that pistol or if he lost it. We also have his tiny little spyglass. I only say tiny little spyglass because apparently the size of it, the size of the spyglass is important to Jack. A little tiny piece of whatever that is. So many things that I'm gonna have to put on that belt, and I'm really. I wish I'd thought this through. I may not have done this on a live stream. This could very well devolve into a 3-hour live stream, and I'm sorry for that. Believe me, I am. Every single one of these little guys has to be put into a very specific place on Jack's belt, and it takes some time. The monkey paw. Wow. Oh, I see that I'm getting... Hey, thanks, Luis. You're awesome, man. Thank you. I really appreciate the super chats. Also seeing the Bob Dylan... I'm getting money from Bob Dylan? Nice hat. Really? You had your old roommate had a Stetson Open Road? That's cool. This is actually the second Stetson Open Road that I have had in my possession. I ordered one a couple years ago, and it didn't fit. And it was expensive as hell. I want to say that it was like $400 at the time. So I sent it back. I was like, this is just an extravagance that I don't need. So I sent it back. And now I wish I hadn't, because the Stetson Open Road, the premium version, what they call the pure Open Road, because it's pure beaver felt, is now $700. So yeah, that window's shut. I'm not paying $700 for a hat. This is one of my favorite accessories with this figure. Thank you, Bob Dylan, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. I wish I had sound effects like Paul Sun-Hyun Lee. Look how cool that little black pearl is in there. Which raises the question, black pearl in a bottle, then whose deck is this anyway? All right. This has a light up feature. Oh, definitely, dude. Definitely. Yeah, I'm not keeping a quality figure like this on an open shelf. And what else is he gonna go with? I'm not gonna pair him up with Captain Enoch. Anyway, thank you again, Bob Dylan, for the $5 super chat. Okay, and the last accessory. It's a chest full of gold. I'm rich. Then you came to the right place. So this is more like pure mariachi music, I think, but I'm not opposed to bringing mariachi EDM into my chat, or into my live stream. I am so thirsty. Coffee will cure that. Coming up on 90 minutes on this live stream. Leave it to you, man. Leave it to you. Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Should I do that for the photo? Like King Shark just being all like holding his book or something, and Jack's just like, right? Dude, I would love it if Hot Toys made a Hector Barbosa figure. I really hope that they're working on a artisan edition of Hector Barbosa. That is a character who has been ignored for far too long by them. If I'm not mistaken, they never did one, right? They even back in the original from the Pirates, the Dead Man's Chest, not Dead Man's Chest, Curse of the Black Pearl. They never did a Hector Barbosa figure then, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is that enthusiasm for the idea of doing that for a photograph? I'm just not sure what I would use for a backdrop. The backdrop that I plan on using, because I don't have a lot of assets for my photos, and I don't have a lot of skills when it comes to compositing. That's why I was just like most recently, Ahmed has started doing more compositing like abruptly. It was like a sea change in his photos. And I was like, are you using AI? What are you doing here? And he showed me. I'm like, no, man, this is all just composites. And I'm like, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted right now by Nelson's. He's owed to us. I'm like, I never do that. Yeah, they owe us that, but I understand the sentiment and I sympathize. But I think at this point it's just going to be like a almost atmospheric vibe. There's going to be a lot of smoke going on in the background. I haven't decided if I'm going to color it or what. But yeah, this needs to be a emoji. Perplexed Terry. Sorry, I'm just scanning back through the comments right now to see if I missed anything. Sweet. I don't even know what assets you have. By the way, is anybody else totally off subject, but hey, this is my stream. Totally off subject, but does anybody else have a watch Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson? And every time that he introduces himself, it's always like, "Hi, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist." And I recently watched an appearance of him on Stephen Colbert with Bill Shatner. And Shatner calls him out on that. I was so delighted to finally have somebody call him out on that. I don't know, it's just funny. All right, back to work here. The reason I said I was going to need these instructions is because, as I said, every single one of these pieces in Jack's effects has a very specific place to which it must be attached. And it's very difficult to do so. I may need my actual tweezers. Are they in here? I might have to phone in for some Grubhub. I'm getting hungry, and I skipped breakfast. Okay. Oh, see, that's the thing. I mean, do you want to do the pose with or without the coat? I'm going coat. I'm going full on. I love that coat, and it's so expressive. Wow, I have no idea what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to do something, anything. I can always change the pose later. Okay, monkey paw goes right at the belt. Buckle, belt buckle. So maybe do that one first. Okay. Fuck. Let's see. Why? What's that? What's Commander Green said? What's Commander Green doing? I don't get it. I totally agree with that. Okay. Jesus. I'm going to take a look at some toys. Jack Sparrow Artisan. I'm going to take a look at some reference photos here. Still available on Sideshow.com. Not the Artisan edition, but the regular edition. Okay. Yeah, there aren't a lot of solid reference images that actually feature the Jack's effects. There we go. Interesting. Now this is a fun little bit. The little guy here. Go back to stream mode. The little sash here is magnetic. It's attached magnetically right there. Just snap. It's freaking beautiful. So you can move that out of the way long enough to do whatever you need to with the belt. and then snap it back down into place, which appears to be what I need to do here. Yeah. Oh god, this is good. I forgot how hard this is. Yeah, I'm gonna require tweezers and not just these measly little things that Hot Toys gives you. Just scouring my desk to see if I can find the good ones. This place is a wreck. No, they're in there. Okay. I'll try it with these, and if it doesn't work, then I just hate doing the whole dead air thing. You know what? I'm just going to add these to the pose afterwards. I'm just going to pose them up. Yeah. I'm not going to make you guys sit through this. It's going to take an awfully long time. My memory is that it took me more than half an hour to put all those pieces onto Jack, and I'm not going to make everybody sit through that. I stand by the statement. And I get why they do it. I mean, you're not going to throw in a pair of, I don't know, what, $10 tweezers every time you ship out a figure. They're perfectly adequate for most needs. But for doing fine detailing work like that, I can't do it. I'll be the first to admit that my paws are not exactly nimble. Okay. Now what I will do... No, I'll dress the figure later. Alright, let's get this guy up here. Very simple process of just... Voila. That's done. It's not attached by anything. No magnets, no anything. It's just kind of in there loose. There are keyholes. Little slots. Are they even in there all the way? They are not. There we go. Yeah. This one actually fits better in the base. This ship's wheel in this figure fits better in the base than the one that Sideshow sent me to do the review for. So that's nice to know. All right. Oh, this is so good. What are we doing here? Oh, it screws in. That's right. Nice and snug. A little bit of cross-threading going on. It's never going to stop. Something's going on there. Yeah, it won't... There we go. That should be a GIF. That one took a while to get all... Oh, it's still not all the way in. There we go. Yeah, I thought that something was going on with the threads in this base, on the stand, but it just went in really deep. Have fun with that, Keith. Slide this guy down. Oh, that's really super snug. I might have to loosen that up. Yeah, that's gonna have to be loosened up, which means I have to leave. Nope. Hot Toys provided us with a totally adequate screwdriver. Definitely not measly. Okay, you're going away before you fall. It's very, very tight. Okay, I think I'll just leave that loose and tighten it later. Okay, so I'm thinking... I'm thinking... One hand on the ship wheel, one hand holding the compass, and the other with the eyes on the horizon. Which brings me to the next step in this process, the unveiling of the portrait. Uncanny. No bad angle on it. Uncanny accuracy. And look at every single detail in those strands of hair. If the focus will grab. There we go. All those little intricate adornments. Wow. So glad I have this. So glad I have this. I'm trying to remember, was it Laura Keeles or Mandy Burton that really went to town on this figure when it came out, doing photos of it? I mean, that's all woven hair, y'all. Man. Okay. And that, his do-rag, whatever, is fabric. I broke it. Oh. Beg your pardon? Usually with these vaults, you have to twist the head 90 degrees before 180 degrees rather before it pops off. But in this case, Jack's head is simply on a ball joint, and got those little guys in there for manipulating the eyes. We'll get to that later. So which portrait? Smirking or stern? Can showcase that as well. I feel like the likeness is a bit... No, it's there. Those eyes are not right. We'll start with stern. Whew. It's very difficult to get this thing right back. There we go. Okay, Jack. Okay, there's a very specific way that these braids have to fall. So once you get the head on, then you need to start moving all these, all the braids, the dreads, the braids, into position. Can you imagine having to put this on every day? Okay, so many hands. Let's see which one is good for holding the compass, which is breaking stuff. And the compass does open, I believe. The latch should be functional if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it does. So the latch actually closes on the compass that doesn't point north. Oh. I didn't notice before that the detail on the inside of the lid. Very, very cool. Okay. I want to say that when I sent the figure back to Sideshow, I left all the effects on Jack's belt. I don't think that I was like, I'm like, no. If they get this back, they're probably going to want to use it for something, and I'm not going to make anybody else have to deal with this. Okay, let's see if Hot Toys has any insight as to which hand is best for holding the compass. Certainly not that one. Not that one. Okay, apparently so. That's weird. So Hot Toys is suggesting that we use this crazy gesturing hand for holding the compass. Which I just demonstrated is going to be a challenging thing to do. So that's how we're supposed to do that. And that tracks. I mean, that's what Museum Putty's there for. If only I had some Museum Putty on hand. Spoiler alert, I don't. Okay, I already got the hand on the proper hand for that. Let's pop this hand off. Oh yeah, I should probably point out. A fun little detail, since I'm not taking off the coat, but there are fun little details like this wrap around his wrist. Like stuff that you almost will never see. And I want to say there's stuff going on his forearms as well, but again, we won't see that today. It's starting to look like we're not going to see anything. It's taken me so long to do this. There's nothing piratical about this track. Indeed. In fact, that's actually where the compass actually points. Okay. This is a very hard thing to pull off. I'm gonna have to stand. Okay, drop that hand over the... There we go. Done. Let's rotate that. So, he's on a ship. It's being tossed at sea, and by all appearances, it looks like the ship is actually sinking. So, I'm going to get a wide stance on him, because he's got to maintain his stability. Keep his sea legs, if you will. One of the things that I notice about one of the things that I notice about Hot Toys bases is that there's very rarely there's a very limited surface area to actually support the figures in a firm with a firm foundation. So kind of the shape and the contours of the base will sort of inform where you have to place the character's feet. That's fine. I've always said that that's something you just always have to keep in mind. Okay, so every little motion creates issues. I will overcome it. I'm a professional. Twist that torso. I'm already loving this. Framing it up for the image later. Probably going to change completely. The last thing I'm going to do is put that compass on. The very last thing I'm going to do. Oh, we already got his stray hair. Yeah, that went back into place nicely. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken the time to straighten those dreads, because now I got to take the head off. Or the hair piece off. Let's see if that will come off on its... Oh, look at that. I lost the strap. It needs to go back up. Thank you. Oh. Oh, I think this is another one that I can't Yeah, my fingers won't. My fat fingers won't go all the way in there. Most of the time. Uh-oh, I lost a spyglass. There it is. Be right back. Something else down there too. I don't think it's Jack's though. Not that much. I always get like performance anxiety when working with these eyeballs on camera. It's probably why I don't speak much when I'm doing it. How's that looking? I think I got it in one. Bitchin'. One of the more difficult things to pull off when I'm either pulling a head off the neck or putting it back onto the body, is applying pressure equally on both sides so that when it catches, you don't crush the pose, so to speak. Regular figure posers out there will understand exactly what I'm talking about, I suspect. You go over there. You come back here. Ah, come on. Go to your home. What am I doing wrong? There we go. Twist that torso again. Get that. Oh, look. Oh, that's what's knocking it down. The dreads, actually, when you put the dreads back onto the body, onto the head, then it pushes the strap down the arm. So that's what's knocking it loose. I'm like, why is that doing that? Cause and effect. Okay. I would have almost appreciated wires in the cuffs of the coat. Fingers have nothing to do with cuffs, I don't know. But we don't have those for whatever reason, so. I got a stray. Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, they give you this awesome fabric kerchief to so always when you're posing the head up, make sure that you try to use that as your gripping point, because you don't want to mess with the hair, because you run the very real risk of the hair breaking loose from where it's woven onto the head. Just realized that the ship's wheel has come off of the base. Sorry. legitimately just felt like something was crawling on my ankle, and I'm kind of creeped out because yesterday or the day before, I spotted a quarter-sized brown recluse spider in my kitchen sink, and legitimately screamed like, fuck, just, god damn it, just freaked out at it, yelled at it for a minute before turning it into a smear in my sink, and then cleaning the entire sink with acid. Not really. Okay. So, that's kind of what I got going. Part of me almost wishes that I would have, like, had him looking down at the compass. Right? Because he always does that creepy eye thing. That would be far more Jack Sparrow, I think, than what I got going here. And I may switch that up for the thing, but let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's 11:18. It's been almost 2 hours. I want to have time to yeah, I'm not 100% happy with this. Oh, sorry, Bitter Troll. I didn't mean to leave your comment up. No, it's not, and yeah, that's a very cool one, but I think it's a little much. That's very film specific, and I've come around. I didn't fully appreciate the fourth and fifth installments in the Pirates franchise until recently, when a few months back I did a binge of all 5 films, and I was like, no, this works really, really well. Love the arc that Hector Barbosa got. And yeah, I definitely appreciate it much more now than I did when they first came out. Okay. I think I can do better. I just don't think I can do better in the time allotted to me here today. Again, I'm on a timetable, so I'll have to call it quits after this. But yeah, this is something. This is a pose that one might use. The eyes need a little bit of tweaking. I'm not sure how they'll read on camera. I think they'll be okay on camera. The right eye is raised upward just a little bit more. And it's also in a little bit. It's also drifted to the left a little bit more. But yeah, gonna have to work on that a little bit. Let's double check this. It's not falling naturally. Here's what I got, guys. For what it's worth. Let's start. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It got really, really bad in here, and of course it's also been really, really dry, so they're looking for water. And that's why I found them in the sink. I'm sure that there's that area in my basement where the drain is, where the hose from the air conditioner runs down to that drain. I'm sure that I have quite a few cardboard boxes in the general vicinity of that drain. Very concerned about those cardboard boxes being used as a nesting place for brown recluse spiders. That being said, my exterminator guys are pretty diligent about making sure that there's nothing here for them to eat. And if there's nothing here for them to eat, then there's no reason for them to stay. So, yeah. Is it great? Okay, thank you. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. But it doesn't really encapsulate my idea of Jack Sparrow 100%. I mean, there are moments when he looks like this in the films. But, yeah, I'm going to have to go back and revisit the poses that I did for the video. I may even look at other people's, the blogger photos, which aren't always on point. And, of course, I'm going to have to take some time and add the elements to it. This is going to take some time. Maybe I won't use this one for my photo that I do today. We'll see. All right. Do I always use the waist crotch grabbers on figures? This one looked like you can get away with not using it because of the wheel. Correct. Correct. In fact, for the photo, I'll probably just, if I do this for a photo, I'll probably pull out that that support so that I just don't want to run the risk that it's going to show up in the image. That's one more thing that I have to clone out and post. So if I can get away without using it, then yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's one thing that I'm getting right. And if anything, oh yeah, the hand is not working. I want to mess with that hand a little bit. It just doesn't read very naturally. Like maybe a slight twist here, and it almost feels like if he's leaning, this ship's wheel needs to be further this way. That made a hell of a difference. Yeah, right? Like he's really having to strain on that. Like he's having to fight it a little bit more now that I've moved it off to the side. Let's see if I can move it a little more. Oh yeah, that's much more dynamic. In fact, I feel like I could drop this knee, drop this leg a little bit more, and lean him even more. Yeah, that's doing it. See, it's just the little tweaks after you develop, like, let's just call that first pose when I said I was done. That's just a rough draft. Yeah. I almost kind of want to move that foot up here, but no. We'll leave that as it is. And then you can add elements to it. I mean, once you get the lamp in there, you can... the lights in the lamp, you can put the lamp in there as well, and I will for the photo. The treasure chest is also a nice touch, if you can find a room for it on the deck. Just add these little things wherever you can. Yeah. It's a great figure, guys. Great figure. I'm so happy that I have it. I did have buyer's remorse for a little bit because it's not cheap. But, if only. You know, that thing is just a statue, basically. The arms move, sure, but yeah, it is a power pose series, not a full-on 6-scale figure. Yeah, that left eye is just in a bad spot. I'm gonna have to work with that. And the position. I can pull this off for the photo. But I almost feel like... I think it needs this. I'll worry about that later. For now, I gotta go. It's been an hour. It's been 2 hours, rather. And that's more than enough time. It is really amazing what little tweaks can do. It's like frequently when I'm doing the videos for first looks, I go back and I watch them and I'm like, oh, I could have done that post so much better if I just done this, or this. Thank you, Victor. Appreciate you. Is this my first artisan? Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Yeah, it is. First artisan in my collection. It's hard for me to remember because so many artisans have passed through my door. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first artisan in my collection. And will probably be the last, to be honest. No, I did not. What did they announce? You can tell me later, because I'm signing off here. I'm fine with snakes. I can do snakes all day. Shut up. That's fun. I'll have to check that out later. As in now. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you got some enjoyment out of this. And until next time, be good to your blasting. Goodbye.